What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video I'm going to be going over my lowering springs, the Emmanuel Design springs that I have in my F8 M3. I've had them on for a few months now, and I told you guys after a while of driving with the car with those springs on, I would give you guys a better review or honest review of how I like them, just to give you guys an idea if you guys maybe something you guys want to get, or maybe you should go with coilovers because lowering springs are not for everybody. So we'll jump into that review, but right now I just got a package in the mail that I'm pretty excited for. It's another mod for the car, pretty inexpensive one, but I'm excited to do this. It's a little bit of a DIY, so I'll show you guys what it is and then it'll be coming in another video. So here we have Alcantara steering wheel cover. You can see it's got the blue and red stitching for BMW. Pretty much what it is, it's a pre-made or pre-cut out Alcantara steering wheel cover that goes over your OEM steering wheel. So this is specifically for the M3 M4. I'm not sure what other steering wheels this will fit, but it's specifically made for my car, and it's just gonna sit over the steering wheel, and I'm gonna have to sew it myself and kind of pretty much wrapping it myself, but it goes over the factory leather, so you'll still have like the heated steering function. So I've already done, if you guys have seen in my other videos, I've already done the carbon fiber accent pieces on the steering wheel. So I'm not a big fan of leather steering wheels. My ISF had a Alcantara one and I absolutely loved it. So this is actually going to make the steering wheel a little bit thicker, which is nice. The M3 steering wheel is already pretty thick, but it's going to make it a little bit thicker. It looks really good though. It's really nice material. I don't know how hard it's going to be. It looks pretty easy, to be honest. They send you a whole little kit with instructions and everything, so honestly I don't think it's going to be that hard. I know I'll definitely do it, I just don't know how good it'll come out. So if you guys are interested in this, it was $50. If you guys don't know, an Alcantara steering wheel from BMW, if you want to buy one, is around like $600 to $1,000, and it's going to look pretty much how my steering wheel is going to look once I wrap it. So $50, I don't know what can go wrong. Can't be that bad. Alright guys, so as you can see, we're in the M3 right now, and I wanted to go over the lowering springs that I have on this car. Before we get into that, I'm going to tell you why I went with lowering springs personally. You have your option between lowering springs, coilovers, or air ride suspension. I never considered air ride, it's just not something that I care for. Nothing wrong with it, just not for me. And then coilovers, honestly, I didn't want to lose the dynamic suspension, so where you can adjust between the different dampening settings from the inside of the car. That's one of the things I really like about this car, and like kind of one of the things you pay for, the technology you pay for when you get this car. So I didn't want to lose that. There is coilovers that you can get that keep that, but with that I also didn't want to lose ride quality. I really like the ride quality of the car from the factory. It's really comfortable in comfort mode. So it's got comfort, sport, and sport plus. So in comfort, it's really comfortable. For me personally, for it being a sports car, of course, it's really good. So I didn't want to lose that. And when I did my research, the Emmanuel Design or the EDM Spring came highly recommended for keeping that ride quality and comfort level from factory, which I can tell you that firsthand that it has. I've had these springs on here for a few months now, put a couple thousand miles on them, and it rides exactly like factory, which I'm really happy with. And then switching between the different settings, same thing, going to sport plus, it all feels the same as it used to. So I'm really happy with that. I was afraid if I went with coilovers, the car would ride really stiff. And I honestly don't need all that adjustment for what this car is for me. For me, this is just a weekend car that I can take out on the canyons and have a fun time. Handles really well with the OEM suspension, honestly. If I was gonna do tracking, then yeah, I'd go with coilovers because you want that adjustability, you want that higher stiffness, but I just don't want to do that. I don't want to ruin this car for what it is, you know, a luxury sports sedan. It can be a track monster though, so if that's what you guys want, you know, that stiffness, I would definitely recommend going with coilovers. Also, if you want to go lower than how my car sits, then I would definitely go with coilovers. You have that more adjustment of like fine-tuning your suspension, so that's good. For me, the EDM springs were a perfect drop, honestly. I'm running a 275 tire up front, 275/35 tire front with a 19 by 9.5, and then a 305/30 19 by 10.5 in the rear. No rubbing whatsoever. It actually tucks tire a little bit in the rear, and I have no rubbing whatsoever I can accelerate really hard, I can brake really hard, I can take hard turns, I can have a full car of passengers, and I have no issues whatsoever. So that there for me is exactly what I wanted. The car looks so much better now with the wheel gap that's gone. Super happy with them. I highly recommend it for anyone that is looking for an affordable way to lower your car and not ruin the ride quality. It's also a really easy install, to be honest. I did it by myself. This is my first German car, and I've always heard they're hard to work on, but honestly, I've done everything on this car myself. Any mods that I've done it by myself. No instructions whatsoever. It's really easy. It's just like any other car, to be honest. I've mainly had Japanese cars, and it's the same thing. There's maybe different tools you got to use and stuff like that, but for the most part, it's really easy. So honestly, anyone can do it. All right, guys. So I'm gonna give you guys an outside look of the car now and give you guys a little walk around so you can see how low it actually sits and how my fitment is with the tires and the wheel setup that I have. Got a really good view up here. This is right above the houses where I live. It's like our little community. But here's the car, guys. This is how it sits. To me, I find it perfect. The only thing I would change, and I will be changing later on, I would run a 275 30 tire up front. Right now it's a 35, so it's it's taller than the rear. I'm running a 30 in the rear, but you can tell just a little bit that it's a little taller, so I would change that next time around. But honestly, I just reuse this tire up here in the front. It's actually from the factory wheels that came with the car, or the tires and wheels that were on the car when I bought it. It was running a 275 35 rear, so and it was brand new, so I was like, I'll keep that tire, put it on this front wheel, and then all I did was purchase a 305 30 for the rear because I wanted that traction. So, but this is how it sits, guys. You can see there is no wheel gap. Obviously, when I switch to a 30 tire, it'll sit a little bit lower, the whole car itself. But I think it's honestly sitting perfect how it is right now for daily driving. My car isn't too low, the front lip, so obviously I went with one of the more or less aggressive front lips, so I actually have no issues rubbing coming in and out of driveways, which is exactly what I was looking for. I just didn't want to have to worry about any of that stuff with this car. I just want to be able to get in and go and not have to think about like, oh, I can't take this car because of this, or oh, my wife can't drive it because the lip's too low, or stuff like that, you know. Like, this car is super comfortable. It's a lot of fun to drive. We're just gonna make it a little bit faster now. This is how the rear is. You guys can see it's tucking a little bit of tire back here, but no rubbing whatsoever. Overall, I'm really happy with how the car looks right now. I don't know if you guys will be able to see the tires, but some really meaty tires. It looks really good from the rear when you see it in person. And this car has just been a dream. Yeah, guys, there she is. If you guys have any questions on where I ordered my lowering springs from or anything like that, just go ahead and leave me a comment and I'll get back to you guys. I really appreciate you guys checking out another video. I'll have more coming up shortly. I'm not sure if I'll have one coming up next week. I'm going to Hawaii. Me and my wife are going to Hawaii next week to celebrate our honeymoon finally. They're allowing people to travel there, so we're gonna get COVID tested this weekend and then head to Hawaii next week. So I'll see you guys when I get back from that. Appreciate you guys checking out another video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys drop a like, leave a comment. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers and I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Have a good weekend.